Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. I'm really looking forward to today's full body reformer session because it is very contemporary, very out of the norm for me. I'm really trying to push my kind of creative juices here lately and then get out of my kind of classical flow, if you will. So definitely full body today, a little bit more on the intermediate side because we will be doing a fair amount of kneeling. And just because of some of the positions we're getting ourselves into, right? Requires a lot of balance, a lot of coordination. No props other than maybe a pad for your hands and a pad for knees if need. We are going to be starting with your foot bar up, headrest up in your comfortable position. And then we're going to be starting with, for balanced body, a red and a blue spring. So for everybody else, that is a medium and a light spring. We're going to be starting with arms in straps. So I would say just pick your kind of normal middle of the road weight for that. All right. So once you have all those things, let's lie back and get moving. All right. As always, before we do anything, I want you to make sure that you are centered on your carriage. Run your hands up along the mat beside your hips, even beside your waistline, and just feel that there's equal spacing on both sides. And then as well with your head, neck, and shoulders. So even feel, I guess if you are touching the shoulder blocks, that they feel somewhat level, right? And that might be an adjustment with the arms, right? Maybe one shoulder is a little bit higher. We have to reach a little bit further with the arms. So just even feel that. See, of course, if you can just get equal everywhere as best you can. And then you're going to place your heels on top of the foot bar. Okay, so not in front, on top of, and all 10 toes are looking up to the sky. My feet are in parallel hip socket distance apart here. And then go ahead and reach the arms up to the ceiling. Palms are facing in. I want you to create as much space between fingertips and chest right now. And just feel that whole rib cage, whole low ribs sink into the mat. And then just allow your chin to nod a little bit, almost as if the back of your ears were sliding to the wall behind you. And then just see if you can still keep that connection through your low ribs. All right, and then I want you to find that long imprint. So it should feel like you've got a heavy tailbone, pelvis is in somewhat of a neutral position, but that low back is drawing into the mat. Now, if you're like, this is super hard, I can't do it without tucking, I want you to press your heels down into the foot bar as if you were going to bridge your hips up, but don't. And just feel how that can kind of shift weight into the ribs and into the back, and like they can sink down heavier. All right, so keep the connection with your legs, your stomach, all the things. I'm gonna reach back and I'm gonna grab onto my short loops. All right, I'm gonna take my hands just over my shoulders and then pause right here. Okay, my heels are still connected to the foot bar. And then also, can you still feel the weight down through the base of the ribs? All right, now imagine your upper body and your lower body are playing a little bit of a tug of war right now. So my legs are trying to pull the carriage home. My upper body's trying to pull the carriage out. Keep that tug of war, and now start to lower the arms down using your legs as resistance. The arms, I don't want them to go all the way down. They're gonna come more at like a 45-ish. And then as the arms come back up, now they're resisting the carriage from coming home. Use the back of the legs to pull the carriage in just to where your hands are over your shoulders. And then arms come down. And then back up. So a little bit of like patting your head, rubbing your belly. If you did that Dowel class from a couple weeks back, we did kind of a variation on this of like coordinating upper and lower body. Definitely feels a little weird. But use these opposing forces, the back of the leg engagement, to sink the ribs and the back into the mat with the longest spine ever. Just a couple more here. All right, and now bring the arms back up to that 90-degree position. Again, strong punch out through your fist. Can you keep the weight into your ribs and bring one leg up in the tabletop? Pause right there. I already felt a shift. Let's really like get deep into this work. And then bring the other leg up in a tabletop. Super glue the legs together. Can you still feel the weight into those back ribs? And then from here, lower the arms down. Let's just go down to 45 today. And then float the arms right back up. If at any point you're like, I liked the feel of my feet on the foot bar, go there. You can still do all these things we're gonna do. You can always add a head, neck, and shoulder curl up, totally up to you. We have 2. Keep stretching the arms away from the chest. Last one. Now bring the arms up to maybe like 80 degrees, not quite 90. The carriage is not gonna move, and now you're gonna bend your elbows, they come down, tap the mat, and then stretch them back up. Keep sinking down through the base of the ribs, no matter where your head is at. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling my stomach on fire. For 2. And last one. Now lower the arms all the way down. Okay, so if your legs are already not in tabletop, go ahead and bring them up into tabletop. Turn the palms facing in. Once again, draw the arms away from the ears and then open them out wide and then hug them back in. So think of really opening up your wingspan, not letting the shoulders come into the blocks. Now to add on, hug the arms in, send your right leg out and away. Check the weight into your ribs, y'all. Check the weight into your ribs. And then open and close. Right leg just stays out there. Think of reaching the fingertips away. And back in. Last one. Back in. We switch legs. Check your ribs. Check things. And then open and close. Open and close. Get the base of the ribs heavy. It might feel like you're rounding. Felt myself compensating a little bit. Now bring the arms back in here. Bring the legs to tabletop. Float the arms back up to your 90 and hold here. Option to take the feet back down to the foot bar, totally up to you, okay? So I'm gonna keep my palms facing my foot bar, soft bend to the elbows. Can you lengthen the sides of your neck a little bit more? And now keep the length and now open the arms out wide and then back up. Last one, carriage doesn't move. Arms come back up. Now, can you send your legs out to a working angle? So option here to straighten the legs out or keep them on the foot bar, no worries. Open and up. Open and up. Keep drawing down through the upper abs, y'all. For 3, 2, big wingspan. Last one, arms come up, bend the knees, place the feet down. Oh, that didn't take long for that. Okay, let's hang up your straps. Let's go ahead now, come up. I'm gonna take off my light spring. So that leaves me with 1 medium spring. Okay, that's 1 red for balanced body. So standing Eve's lunge, standing footwork, whatever you wanna call this. I'm gonna step my right foot forward, close by the leg of the reformer, and my left foot up against the shoulder block here. All right, so you're starting with your knee down. If you have a really low reformer, maybe place a ball, something underneath your knee. And then before we even move, I want you to push your heel or flex your foot to push your heel back into the shoulder block there. And then feel like the balls of your feet are pulling under. So we're working a flex of the foot. It's not just like weight shifting back into the heel, okay? That alone deepens the stretch in the front of my hip. And if it didn't, I want you to drop your tailbone, feel the front of that left hip lift up a little bit more. Hand can be on the foot bar, totally up to you. But now just press the carriage back, staying connected through that heel, and then drag it back in. Make these first few very kind of slow and stretchy. If you have a really high reformer like me, you might have to lean forward a little bit just so the low back isn't cranky. But ideally, the higher up or the more upright your torso is, the deeper the stretch should be in the front of that left hip. Couple more here. Start to work into this tripod connection into your standing foot. And now bring the carriage all the way in. And now I want you to hover that back knee. Okay, so I still have a soft bend to my front knee, my right knee. And then to add on, I want you to think of that left hip spiraling forward and your right hip spiraling back without coming out of a parallel right foot. Okay, so those toes should be facing forward here. Again, hand can be on the foot bar, totally up to you. But now I want you to lunge down. It's more of a lunge down. The back knee can touch the reformer, that's fine. Just make sure that it's not resting. And then just lift yourself right back up. Carriage will not come all the way in, or I mean, depending on how far forward you are. And remember the dig into the balls of the feet back there, the heels driving back. So the back leg just stays strong. It's the front leg that's really guiding this movement. And now we're gonna add on even more. So now when you lunge back, I do want you to pitch your upper body forward and then stand right back up. We come down, we pitch forward. That right knee bends right over the center of your foot and then guide it back in. So right away, I am feeling my hip, I'm feeling my calf, my whole right leg just like lit up. It was starting to warm up a little bit, but it's at the party now. Again, arms can be wherever. Remember that left hip is constantly trying to lift up to that bottom rib. One more here. I want you to come down into that lunge and pause here. Again, front knee is right over the center of your foot. This is your start and stop position. Now your upper body, we're neither all the way forward, neither all the way up. Just find a strong position with your torso. And now the front leg, you're gonna try to straighten it by pushing the carriage back and then guide the carriage back in. So the only reason the carriage is moving right now is because the back leg is connected to it. So that leg just stays strong. And we're still keeping equal weight into all corners of that front foot. Even though it's very tempting to like want to rock back in the heel here. And again, I don't know about you, but my right hip is like, it's talking to me. Can we do 3 more? Maybe get a little bit lower in your lunge. This is your back splits. This is your Russian splits right here. Oh my gosh, that right hip is on fire. You got one more. Drag the carriage in, finish strong, come all the way up. Oh, okay, let's hobble on over to the other side. Okay, every side is different. One side you may feel a completely different area. It's not necessarily wrong, right? Not necessarily right? You might be off. You might just be out of whack. Okay, so left toes forward, right heel, press it back, flex the foot, think right hip forward, left hip back. All right, and then just press the carriage back. So keep the knee down, make this stretchy, make this feel good. But because you know where this work is going, just see if you can kind of tap into those little pieces here and there. That way your body isn't in a shock, you know, when we get into that deep work. And on this side for me, I'm having to think of my left hip drawing down and into my right inner thigh. The other side, not so much for me, but this side, I feel like that cue works better for my left leg. Just one more here. And then resist back in. Okay, now that back leg, we're trying to straighten it. I am not doing a good job of that. All right, and then we lunge down. And then bring it back up. So on this side, it's your right hip that's trying to lift up to that right rib. Ooh, and here's something. Think of keeping that space between that right rib, right hip the same, but think of making that back leg longer. Ooh, that changed the stretch for me. All right, now we're gonna add on. So now as you lunge down, you're gonna find that forward lean, left knee is right over the center of your foot, and then we come all the way back up. So forward lean, and then back up. Think of driving right through the center of that back heel. Anybody else's knees are just creaking away here? Mine are making all kinds of noise. Couple more here, and elbows. Now I want you to go down into that lunge and then pause here. Check all your boxes, all your Pilates boxes. We're neither super upright, neither super pitched forward. And now we press the carriage back and then drag it into that start position. Press it back and drag it in. The lower your hips are, the harder this is going to be. Like I said, for me, I have to think of that left hip, not just going back, but almost to the inside of my right thigh, my right inner thigh. If you have those mirrors, use them. Trying not to rest through that back knee. Let's do 4 more here. Ooh, there, I'm really starting to feel it. This is 3. The leg does not have to fully straighten, y'all. Go to where you can. Maybe it's a 2-inch movement. We have 1 more here. Back. And then drag it in all the way in. Awesome work. Okay. All right. So from here, I'm going to have a seat on my carriage facing my riser, still on my 1 medium spring. I'm going to scoot pretty close to the edge here, right? If you're more on the petite side, you have a lot more space to work with. So let's take your right long loop and place it around your right thigh. Okay. From here, legs are zipped up. You can either reach your arms forward, you can grab onto your shins or the back of the legs, but we're gonna work ourselves down into this position. So feel energy into the arms no matter where they're at. And then from here, start to roll your pelvis away from your thighs. Maybe you have to walk your hands down if you're holding onto your legs. And I want you to come into that upper ab curl. So right to the tippy top of your shoulder blades here. And then just breathe into this position. Feel if you can get your tailbone a little bit heavier. There's the shake. And now bring your right knee into your chest. Bring your left knee into your chest. All right, option to keep your hands here or take your hands behind your head. Head pushes back in your hands. I'm already shaking. Elbows are in my peripheral, but they're reaching away from my center. Now inhale as the legs go away a little bit, just a little bit, and exhale, pull them in. Feel like you can curl the tailbone off the mat and then inhale away. Wasn't much movement on my end. Exhale, tailbone curls under, inhale back out. Only 3 more. Exhale, 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 inhale out. Really draw the belly down to make space for the thighs. 1 more here. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Now keep your right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg out. We twist our upper body to the right. Think left armpit, right hip. And then back to center, left knee comes in. Carriage barely moves. We twist, 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 and back to center. We're gonna add on here. We twist, take your left hand, grab onto the outside of your right thigh. Maybe you pull yourself up a little bit deeper into that ab curl. Now keep the ab curl. Ooh, take the hand behind the head and then back to center, knee comes in. Again, leg pushes out. Maybe you grab on, curl up, curl up, curl up, and then let go. Ooh, back to center. Last one, I promise. Curl up, head stays connected to that hand. And then back to center. Lower the feet down. Grab onto the back of the legs and then roll yourself up, 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 up. I know we don't need many of those, but we are going to come back to them on the same side. So I'm going to scoot back a little bit. I'm going to keep my right foot on my headrest. I'm going to take my left shin up against the shoulder blocks. So I'm going to have to pivot a little bit to face you. All right. So left hand is down. Just be careful, the carriage might move around a little bit, so take this first one slow. I'm gonna push down into my left shin and also more so my right foot. I'm just gonna lift my hips up. My right arm is gonna reach up and over. I'm just gonna find a little stretch here. And then I'm gonna place my hips back down. Now grab onto your right shin. Left arm comes up and over, a little counter stretch. And then hand comes down. Right arm comes up and over, really lift up, lift up. Maybe you look down at that left hand and back to center. Right hand around the shin, left arm up and over. Just find a stretch. Okay, that was your intermission. We're gonna come back to this too. Let's turn. Feet onto the headrest. Oh, yippee. All right, grab either onto your legs or reaching the arms forward. Make this roll back work, okay? So roll back. Think of articulating back, stretch back, stretch back. Find the tips of your shoulder blades. Bring one leg up, bring the other leg up. Hands behind your head if you're taking that option, head to hand connection. And now inhale the legs away a little bit. Exhale, pull the knees in. Inhale away. Exhale, pull in. Think pubic bone to navel, pubic bone to navel. Inhale out. All right, it's not just a deepening of the hip creases, right? You're trying to get that back part of your pelvis up, 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 up. Oh, it's so hard. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Now find center, find a little bit more of that tabletop position, okay? Now your right leg is going to extend out as we twist to the left, and then back to center, everything comes back in. We twist to the left, right leg extends, and then exhale, pull it in. Inhale out, exhale, pull it in. Inhale out, exhale, pull it in. Oh my goodness, one more. Exhale, pull it in. Grab onto the legs, place your feet down, and then roll yourself up. I'm hoping you felt stomach. Okay, let's come back to that weird position. Right foot onto your headrest, left knee down. Okay, so this time we are going to try and lift your right leg up at some point. So if you need a pad for your knee, go ahead and grab it. But I will say, if you're feeling too much in the knee, it means we haven't connected the shin, the entire shin and foot to the mat. Okay, so work on that. So left hand down, pushing into that right foot. I'm gonna reach up, I'm gonna lift up, and I'm just gonna find a stretch, right? I'm just gonna find opposition through everything I've got, down through my bottom arm, out through my top arm, and then come down, okay? So again, I'm gonna lift up, and now I'm gonna find more of like a side plank, less like bend here. Now, I might have to reposition that bottom leg. Could you just hover the top leg? Keep it bent, that's fine. And now, can you bring it forward as your top arm bends in? My hips can dip down a little bit to make space, and then they just kind of go back out. Exhale, pull it in, think belly and ribs back, and then out. All right, make it small. For 2. And last one. Now, reach the arm and leg away from one another. Can you straighten your leg? Now sweep it forward. Think of bringing hand to foot and then back out. So obviously my hips have to go back as my leg goes forward and back out. Whew, stuffing things. Reach, think heel reaches away from my hip and back out. 3 more. Bottom arm is working, right? Whew. Exhale, exhale, exhale. It's also your teaser in a weird way. Whew. Bend the knee and then come all the way down. That was fun. Fun stuff. Okay, let's switch sides. That's what I meant about creative contemporary work today. Really kind of taking it out of my comfort zone. This is fun though. We should do it more often. Okay, strap around your left thigh. Feet on the headrest. Hands wherever you like. Shake out that tension if there's any. And then from here, Roll yourself back. Round back, round back. One leg up, other leg up. Try to get centered in your body. I can already feel that I'm like fighting that. Hands behind your head. And now from here, right leg goes out. Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. So both legs stay together. They go out a little bit and exhale, pull in. Inhale out. Exhale, try to curl up a little bit higher as the knees come in. For whatever reason, knees up and over are making sense to me right now. Knees up and over. Think like thigh bones lifting up and over and back out. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Now keep the knees in. Your right leg is going to go out. We're going to twist up and over to the left. Keep your head in line with your center. And then back to center. Carriage doesn't move. Twist. Maybe take your hand on the outside of the thigh. Maybe pull up just a little bit more. And then keep the hand back. Not a lot of cueing here on my part. This is so tough. And center. 2 more. Hand on, twist, lift, lift, back to center. 1 more time. Can you keep weight in that right hip as you try and twist and back to center? Place the feet down and let's roll you up. All right, I'm turning around to the other side. So right shin on up against the shoulder blocks, left foot firmly planted. Remember, we're just doing these like little stretches here. Not that full shebang we did earlier. So left arm up, lift up, make it feel good. And then back to center. Grab onto that left shin, right arm up and over. Push that right hip down into the mat. Hand down. Think of pushing that bottom hip forward more in this up position. We come down, try to square off in the chest as we do our side bend. Okay, are we ready? Because I know it's coming. We know it's coming. Okay. Face your risers here. Grab on or not. And then roll back. Think of lengthening the waist back. Legs up. Ugh. Oh, my chickens, this side's hard. All right, hands behind the head. Okay, inhale the legs out a little bit. Exhale, pull them in. Inhale out. Exhale, pull them in. There's a couple more here. Think of really drawing down through that bra strap area if you're wearing one. Last one. Now find your legs into that tabletop-ish position. Your right leg is going to, gosh darn it. And now stretch your left leg out, upper body twist over to the right and back to center. You could take that option of hand onto your thigh again, if you'd like. Exhale, pull everything back in. 2 more. Inhale over. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Keep the weight into that left hip as you twist. Holy cannoli. Last one. Back to center. Place the feet down and then roll yourself up. Those are hard, honestly. They are. That's why you don't see me do a lot of them in classes. Oh, I avoid them. Okay. All right. Foot on. Right shin down. Let's just do 1 prep here. Okay. So lift up. Get a stretch. Maybe a little spiral, a little twist action, and then back down. Okay, so you know what's coming. Right hand down. We come up into this kind of side plank position and just see if you can lift that leg up. Opening up that bottom hip crease here. And now bring the knee in, knee to elbow, and then back out. Think of pressing through that whole bottom shin, lengthening the tailbone and pulling the ribs back. I can feel on this side that my right hip is just, I don't know, a little stubborn. Soft bend to your bottom elbow if you need. All right, now could you straighten the leg out, flex the foot? It sweeps forward, reach, 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 and then back out. Obviously, the higher the leg, the harder this is gonna be. Reach, pull the stomach and the ribs back. Oh, this side is interesting. Exhale, 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 reach, 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 reach. Right, there's your teaser. Reach, let's do 2 more. I feel I need it. Last one. Reach, 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 reach. Woo. Find the headrest. Place the hip down. Okay, we're done with those silly things. Let's take the strap off. All right, now we're gonna come kneeling facing the back of the reformer, and I want your feet to be hooked around the edge here. You're gonna stay on the 1 medium spring. And then let's take the long loops into like our elbow creases here. Let's do that. All right, so I'm gonna have my elbows down a little bit just so like already I'm not into my neck. My palms are just facing in, and I'm gonna think of lengthening my tailbone and lifting up through my front hip points. My ribs are nice and soft. I am leaning back a little bit here, that's okay. I guess if you wanted to make things really hard on yourself, you could come into more of that plumb line, but I'm gonna stay at a tiny hinge back. Now from here, I'm just gonna open my arms out, and then I want you to pause here. Think of the elbows and the back of the arms kind of reaching out and away from your spine, and then come back to center. It's very easy for this to be all upper traps. So think of your side body muscles, maybe the muscles that are like just below the shoulder blades. It's not a huge range. Let's do 2. Lower body still at the party, whether you're at the hinge back or not. And last one. Now hold out here. My palms are facing the wall in front of me. I'm just gonna check my neck here. And now keeping the sides of your neck long, can you just straighten the arms out a little bit and then pull them back in? Think elbows to your hips. Press the arms out, keep the sides of the neck long, and then pull the elbows back in. So for this move, my carriage isn't moving. I've done this before where the carriage does move. Doesn't matter. I just want you to stay connected to your back and work the opening across the collarbones, because that's honestly, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this lovely stretch across my chest, maybe even down my arms. Last one. Now send the arms out, flip your palms facing back, keeping the ribs soft, keeping the collarbone broad. Now can you press back a little bit and then back to the start position? Press back a little bit, back to the start position. Tailbone is still reaching long, legs are still active. The higher up the arms, just the more challenging it is, could be out of your neck, so pick your poison here. For 3, and 2, and last one. Slide the arms forward. Let's go ahead and take your hands now. Let's go into the long loops. We need to choke up, we can choke up. So from here, let's again find that position with your lower body. Again, maybe a little bit of a lean back. I'm gonna stay looking forward. My arms are gonna stay straight. I'm gonna pull the arms down and back, find chest expansion and hold. I'm gonna think of reaching my hands down to my heels and then drag the fingertips low as my arms come forward. Again, arms come down and back. Can you stay connected to your armpit muscles and then slowly release? Now, if you're feeling good here, maybe you find more of that plumb line. I know I said lean back, but let's just feel something different here. Find your plumb line. Ooh, I feel a lot more inner thighs when I come upright. For 2, and last one, slide the arms forward. Okay, now I want you to choke up. All right, so like right before the buckles. Now this is very light, typically than what I do for a thigh stretch, so take it easy, okay? Now I want you to point the toes, so we're not hooking the feet. So I'm gonna push down through as much of my shin, as much of my top foot and my ankles as I can. Arms are gonna be reaching forward. That tailbone again is long, and now from here I'm gonna hinge back. Keep pushing into the tops of the feet and the ankles. Go back to wherever you can, and then lift yourself right back up. Requires a little bit more control because the heavy spring, we can rely on it, right? Or we don't realize we are. And then when you're ready, you push into your shins to come back up. I'm gonna stay looking forward because I just don't wanna back dive today. Think inner thighs hugging together, even though they may be apart, and then come right back up. Now I want you to go back to that challenging point. Go there, stay there, and then arms stay straight. Can you pull the arms down and back? Find a little bit of a chest expansion here. But if I were to flip you over on your back, right, you'd be in bridge. So as I pull my arms back, there's my arms into the mat, I'm in bridge. So maybe find a little bit more booty. Just imagine it coming to the party, right? Because the thighs are on fire right now. I don't know about you. Again, think of arms reaching down and away. Let's do 3, control it, and 2. And the last one, reach the arms forward. Oh, and come out of it. Hello, shaky leg. Hello, hello. Ooh, and just shake it out. All right, so I'm now gonna flip around, still kneeling, all right, so keep your pad, but I am gonna put my foot bar all the way down and make sure that you have access to your platform here. I'm just gonna adjust my mic. I feel like I'm hitting it a lot. And I'm gonna come down to a light spring. So not my lightest, but my light spring. So for my balanced body, that is a blue spring. I find my lightest spring is it's just not enough. All right, so let's go. My feet are gonna come into the headrest only because I'm trying to find a quadruped position here, okay? So for some of you, you might be able to have your toes may not be hanging off, okay? So think knees under hips, hands under shoulders. All right, so now I'm gonna reach back. I'm gonna take my left hand into the long loop. You guys know the deal. Choke up, loosen up, change the spring here. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep my hand down to start, and then I'm gonna feel that lift up through my ribs, head to tail length. This, if I were to flip you over on your back, this is you with arms and straps, your legs are in tabletop. So see if you can find that ribs into the mat connection, because otherwise it's gonna be all low back and we don't want that, okay? From here, I'm just gonna take my arm back behind me and hold. Do I feel level? No, I'm trying. Push into both shins, keep your elbow hugging in, and then just do a little bicep curl. Little, big, small. Chest is nice and broad, my gaze is down. Shoulder girdle is stable. Now, if you're like, okay, what's next? This is easy, lady. Maybe find a stopping position. Could you send your right leg out behind you? Now here, that left shin needs to be so glued to the mat, it's not even funny. There should be no space between shin and your mat. And let's do bicep curls here. Where are those ribs at? Have they fallen or are they still into the imaginary mat that's on your back? Push into that whole left shin. It should also take some pressure out of the knee if there's any there. Now to add on, the next time you bicep curl, could you bring your right knee in towards your right armpit? Kind of weird, kind of funky, but there's work there. Little scrunch. Try to make this as smooth as you possibly can. I can feel my carriage kind of slinking around. Can we do 3? Lift up through the chest. And 2, holy cannoli. And last one, leg goes out, place it down, Stuff and things, hang up the strap. Take a moment here. In fact, let's scoot forward. Take your feet up against the shoulder blocks. Wedge them in real good, just like we did for that Eve's lunge, okay? Come up into more of an active kneeling position. Find your inner thighs. Let's hook your thumbs together. Reach the arms up to the sky. And now, just like we did in that thigh stretch, tailbone is heavy, pubic bone is forward and up. We side bend up and over. That left heel stays connected to the shoulder block, and then come up through center. We side bend over to the left, and then back up to center. One more time here, over. Reach up, reach up, reach up, and then up. Don't be afraid to really like stretch over, over, over. All right, now take your hands behind your head. Either you've got hand over hand or interlacing of the fingers. Find that neck pull activation here. So head reaches up and into your hands, legs stay still. Just twist your upper body to the right. Just lift, 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 and back to center. We lift and twist to the left, elbows stay in your peripheral, ribs are soft, and back to center. One more time each side. Spiral up, 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 and back to center. Hips stable, back to center. Okay, now I want you to take your hands to that gray platform. All right, again, strong connection through your heels. Try to keep it. And now just find a plank position. So knees are gonna stay down here. Create as much space between chest and hands. And then also feel like you're kind of pulling apart on a bar and also breaking it. So I'm gonna think of my elbow creases pointing forward a little bit here. And then from here, I'm just gonna press the carriage back. Keep lifting up through your upper abs, see how far you can go, and then pull the carriage back into that start position. Inhale out. And then exhale, pull back in. So see how much you can connect to those armpit muscles. And even for me, I feel like I'm rolling onto the pinky side of my hands more than anything. And that is really helping me stay out of my neck. Makes it a little bit harder. Inhale out, exhale, pull back in. Last one here, inhale out. Exhale, pull back in. Huh. Okay. Shake it out. I know, I'm sorry, a lot on the wrist today. All right, so let's do the other side. So on the note of the wrist, right, over time, the work will start to transfer if you're feeling it there. The work will start to transfer in other parts of your body and it'll take weight off the joints, okay, eventually. So I'm gonna reach back, hand into my long loop. Okay, just keep your hand down to start and then create as much space between your chest and the mat as you can. So just by doing that, I'm feeling less weight in my left wrist, okay? Sides of the neck are long here. And now take that arm back behind you. Palm is facing down to start. Can you get equal weight into your shins? I mean, I can't, but I'm trying. And now do that bicep curl in and then out. Now remember that mat on your back. I don't know about you, but I've started to feel it in my low back a little bit. So the second I lift it up through like the low ribs, upper abs, I felt supported. Okay. Getting a feel for this here. Chest is square and lifted. All right, maybe you come to a stopping point. Doesn't matter where, but just send your left leg back behind you and just see, all right, can I get square here? Think half of your weight in your right leg, half your weight in your left arm. And I know I just said lift up out of your joints, but you know what I mean. For some of you, it might feel like you're rounding in this position. That's okay. Because I don't want you to be all in your back here. Keep pushing down through your right shin. Now let's add on and do that funky fun thing. So bicep curl, knee to the armpit. Oh, this side's way harder. Or I feel it way more. Lift up through the belly and then back out. Push into that bottom shin. Right, there's those knee stretches we did a couple weeks ago. Curl it in and back out. Let's do 3 more, because why not? Try to get that outside knee up a little bit higher. You're trying to go up and over a fire hydrant. Last one, curl it in and back out. Lower the shin. Holy cannoli, hang up the strap. All right. Let's just take a moment here, shake out the wrists. Maybe do a little twist. Okay. Ooh, oh my goodness. You know, we're gonna stay on this light spring. Headrest can come up into your comfortable position. Let's go ahead now, lie back. Okay, guys, we're here. We arrived. Let's take your let's go right short loop in your left arch of your foot. Right short loop, left arch of your foot, closer to your heel than your toes. And let's go ahead right away. Just bring your right ankle over your left knee. And just let that strap pull the leg up. Now you're more than welcome to stay here. Maybe you pull on the rope or the strap, or my favorite is bending that knee, that left knee, and that gets me a deeper stretch in my right hip. And then just something else I like to do, I just like to rock back and forth. Because I don't know about you, but as I go over to the left, I feel the stretch even deeper, which is where I want to go. Some people like to grab onto the back of the left leg, drive the elbow into the thigh. I mean, listen, y'all. This is your time. Find a stretch. Okay, so let's unpretzel you now. Let's take your right foot down to the floor into the well. Oh, if you can. And then from here, you're just finding a stretch, right? We can grab onto this rope here. The foot that's on the floor, you're trying to connect the heel into the floor while also bringing the foot underneath the carriage. So obviously the further back you pull the left leg, carriage comes in, and I'm getting a lovely stretch on my right thigh. And then from here, we can add a cross of the body with the left leg. Oh, just to feel other things. Maybe you do a little internal, external rotation with that left foot. Oh my goodness. And then from here, what I like to do is I want to take my right foot out to the side of the frame and then take the left leg out to the side. Now, if you're on one of those really short carriages, you can just grab onto your ankle or your foot to just get a stretch on the thigh. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, let's unpretzel you here. Let's do the other side. So we hang up this strap completely. And then it's left short loop, right foot. Okay, go right into that figure 4 stretch. And you know what? Every side is different. So maybe this side you keep the leg straight, soft bend. But no matter where you are at in this stretch, think of that left hip reaching away from your ribs, reaching towards the foot bar. So like right now, I'm pushing into that thigh. Also to open up that low back a little bit. Oh, okay, now take the foot to the floor. Just negotiate all the springs and the whatnot. And so notice the difference in the stretch when you try to push the heel down. And this is why if you've been taking my classes, I really talk a lot about the foot position and like the heel connection and all of that. Because if this right here doesn't tell you like, wow, just changing my foot position, changing that heel reaching down changes the stretch, you know, just, it's kind of crazy. It's all connected. And then you can take that leg across the body. Notice how I was subconsciously avoiding that one. Oh, you can do it with a straight or bent knee, totally up to you. And And then leg goes out to the side. Hopefully a hip doesn't pop out of socket here. Well, you guys will have to let me know what you thought about this session. This like really, for me, out of the box session, but it was fun. It was fun to do all the crazy things, what I think is crazy on the reformer. But I hope you got a good workout. You connected to some things in some fun ways, and I hope to see you again. Thanks, y'all. Awesome work.